You guys are awesome.
Before Casey Neistat boasted over 2 million YouTube subscribers and was considered a new media rock star by his legion of fans. Before Casey Neistat's YouTube videos, snowboarding with the NYPD, $12 McDonald's burger, and crazy German water park prank would go viral. Before Casey would marry his longtime girlfriend Candice, and together they would birth their little girl Francine. Before Casey would produce marketing videos for Nike, Mercedes, and an HBO television show with his brother Van. Casey Neistat was a troubled youth both in and out of school, and at the age of 15 his parents kicked him out of their Connecticut home. From there he would couch surf. He ended up living in Virginia for some time before he ended up in a trailer park as a teen father on welfare while working as a dishwasher making $8 an hour. Yeah, the guy was up shit's creek until he discovered his love for videography. When his girlfriend dumped him, he made the move to New York City. With little to his name and no education or work experience, things were a grind. But the man was down to grind it up. He soon found work, he found a place to crash on, and eventually things started to pick up. He would spend every spare minute of his time filming and editing videos. And eventually he got a break with his short film. And this thing went viral before the days of YouTube. Things continued to progress forward and he got an HBO show made in his name. And then in 2010 he had a change of heart about the traditional media landscape. All of a sudden he was going to invest all his time into YouTube. And in 2015 things would blow up for him once again. My name is Michael McCrudden, documenting the life and career of Casey Neistat prior to fame, here for you on Before They Were Famous. Now a whole bunch of you guys requested this video, but my sister, she actually asked me to get this one done, so lass, this video's for you, or dedicated to you, and for everyone else. You and everyone else. Yeah, alright, let's do it. Casey Owen Neistat was born on March 25, 1981 in Gales Ferry, Connecticut. From there, him and his family settled in the middle-class neighborhood of New London, Connecticut.
My mom said that she was watching a horror movie when she went into labor with me.
The second youngest of 3 siblings, Jordan, Dean, and Van. The later of whom he would collaborate with in the future, but we're not there yet in this story. Casey recalls being a little bit of a troublemaker during his youth, getting into trouble both at school and after school, causing all sorts of ruckus. One time he even burned down his beloved treehouse. Now in high school, shit really hit the fan for Casey. His parents announced to him that they were getting divorced. He had started drinking alcohol as well as smoking weed, and he was hanging around with a rough crowd, getting into all sorts of brawls on the street. All of a sudden his parents, they decided to give him the boot. Soon after, he would drop out of Ledyard High School in the 10th grade at the age of 15. For some time he was couch surfing around Connecticut. He later moved to Virginia for some time to be with his brother Van, and he had a roommate by the name of Robin, and she soon announced that she was pregos. Now I'm happy to report that Casey is a very loving father, and him and his son Owen have a very special bond. But at the time of Owen's birth, well, things were really tough. Casey and Robin, they relocated back to Connecticut where they moved into a trailer park and were getting some assistance from welfare. Casey, with his education, the only job he could get was as a dishwasher working at a restaurant known as Mystic. Now Casey's brother Van, he had relocated to New York City, and Casey and his new family, they decided to pay him a visit. There they found out that Van had an Apple iMac computer. They decided to film a video on a trip to the zoo, and Casey, he found his love for videography and editing. Now this was back in 1999, and when he wasn't working at Mystic, he would spend all his time recording videos.
Then, for a lot of good reasons, Owen's mom dumped me. It sucked.
Now with him getting the boot once again with few options, a crummy resume, and not a whole lot of work experience, he decided, what the heck, I'm gonna give it a go in New York City as a filmmaker. He showed up there and he actually found a job quite quickly as a bike messenger, and he even found a place to crash with a great view. It looked at the World Trade Center. But this was just days prior to September 11th. Now shockingly, this isn't even one of the most dangerous moments in Casey's life. The guy has flown in a helicopter over war-torn Afghanistan. He has jumped into a sinkhole out in the Middle East. He has been hit by cars. He has climbed mountains where he nearly fell asleep and died on top of them. The guy's lived a pretty crazy life. Following 9/11, things started to look up for Casey. Him and his brother Van began working with the artist Tom Sash, ultimately making a series of films about the artist's sculptures and installations. In their spare time, the brothers would produce videos, anything and everything that people needed, and when Casey had additional free time, well, he would work on his own projects. He had a huge hit in 2003 with his short film, iPod's Dirty Little Secret, revealing to the world the impossibility of replacing a dead iPod's battery.
Apple doesn't offer a new battery for the iPod? No, because the battery...
The film received national media attention, and this was back in 2003. I mean, YouTube, it wasn't even born until 2005. In the following years, things would pick up again for Casey, not in his career, this time in his love life. Yes, he got together with Candice, and just like everything else in this man's life, he would document everything. I mean, he was vlogging before vlogging was a thing. Anyway, let's roll another clip. And I know this is a lot of clips, but look who we're talking about.
I don't care anything.
Now at this time in Casey's life, things were going great. He was with the girl of his dreams, his father-son bond with Owen was growing strong, and then all of a sudden a huge deal landed in his lap. A television producer liked the work Casey and Van were producing so much, he decided to bankroll a project, any project that they fancied making. He'd pay for the whole thing, so the boys got to work. This resulted in a project known as the Neistat Brothers, where they traveled the world documenting their antics, and this show would be sold to HBO for a cool $2 million. From there, Casey would go on to produce films such as Daddy Longlegs, but he wasn't content. Distributors and other suits got involved, and they messed with his vision. Around this time, him and his brother Van, they also decided to part ways creatively. All of a sudden, Casey, well, he wasn't feeling traditional media. He was looking for a new platform, and that's when he decided to jump on YouTube. He started his first channel on February 15, 2010. He got married to Candice in 2013. The following year, they welcomed their daughter Francine, and the guy started up a huge project known as Bean. You should check it out. And the rest of the story, well, you know the story because this is Before They Were Famous. My name is Mike McCrett. Thanks for checking out my personal channel. I do all sorts of celebrity bios on here. Can you believe I talk this fast? I can't. Be sure to let me know who you want to hear about next. Also be sure to check out these other videos. I've done a whole bunch of YouTubers. I've done actors, comedians, celebrities of all sorts. Browse around. I'll see you guys in another video. I'm exhausted.
I want to ask Candice to marry me.
I'm finished. Oh my God, I'm finished. I'm gonna faint.